फिर एक बार ईश्वर के सभी भक्तजनों को आदरपूर्वक नमस्कार। We are now in the final episode 9 of this discourse, that is deed or destiny, which is the path for human life. This episode is now explained with the subtitled subjects so that it is easily understood by everyone. The first titled subject is every result is not just because of human effort and efficiency. Let us try to talk about a small incident from Kurukshetra war time. This is about an incident or conversation during the Kurukshetra war time between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. What was that? Filled with ego in mind about his combatant abilities, Arjuna questioned Sri Krishna's repeated applaud for Karna as a proficient warrior. What would Krishna say? Krishna responds to Arjuna with a smile. Hey Arjun, what are you talking about? Your chariot is protected by Hanuman on your chariot flag at the top. Also, I am your charioteer in the front. And also, you have Seshanag on the wheels of your chariot. Whereas, Karna's chariot does not have any such cosmic powers to protect him. Still, your chariot would sway and get displaced by Karna's arrows. Whereas, Karna's chariot, without having any such cosmic powers, he on his own still fought very valiantly. Why should I not applaud Karna's warrior tactics? Because he is a great warrior, no doubt about it. Arjuna, please remember this point, that ego-filled mind fails to understand what is the truth. At the end of Kurukshetra war, Sri Krishna refused to get off the chariot first and insisted Arjuna to get off first. What happened after that? The moment Krishna got off the chariot, Arjuna's chariot burnt immediately and in no time turned into ashes. Sri Krishna reminds Arjuna about his arrogance towards Karna and says, Hey Arjun, your chariot was destroyed by Karna long ago. It was those cosmic powers which are protecting your chariot and you. It's not your combatant abilities alone making you to win this war. There is an intervention which is helping you and providing you with certain opportunities. Don't be arrogant for the abilities to win the war. It's not you alone. It's not your efficiency or effort all the time helping you to achieve those results. Further, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Hey Arjun, if you have achieved anything, that is due to the divine will. If you are protected or provided with a clear path, that is due to the right opportunities given to you at a right time, which is through a divine intervention. Don't think that always just your efficiency and effort that alone enable you to win this war or achieve the desired result. So the conclusion of this particular incident is that both deed and destiny are laced with divine intervention. As a human, we are bound to perform. You have no option that I don't perform. At least your obligatory duties you have to perform. But the results are dependent on combination of two philosophies or both philosophies. That is deed and destiny based on the timing and intention of the divine will. Now another subtitle for this episode 9 is Dominance of Supreme Soul. Means Paramatma ki pradhanata ya pramukhata. Now to understand what is this and how it works out to be, let us try to read 3 shlokas from chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita and try to understand the meanings of them, and thereby we can also understand what is the title, that is Dominance of Supreme Soul, is talking about it in this episode 9. So I am now reading the shlok 59 from chapter 18. Yadahankaramasritya nayotsya iti manyase medyaisha vyavasayaste prakrutistvam niyokshati. Now let me read shlok 60 and 61 of chapter 18. स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वसोऽपि तत् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया. Now let us try to understand what those 3 shlokas are explaining. Sri Krishna says, "Hey Arjun, your decision to not participate in that war was an aimless decision, because it was based on fear or affection or both. However, your nature means swabhav, as a king, being a king means kshatriya hone ke karan, will force you to take part in this war. It will not allow you to sit idle. It means your swabhav tattva, that is known as expressive nature, forces you to carry out your own activities, your own duties, even at times you are not willing to do that. If you remember some of the points what Sri Krishna talked about in the initial chapters of Bhagavad Gita, he told Arjuna that don't try to follow anyone blindly. Follow your own swabhav. Actually, he said follow the dharma, what you like. That means your swabhav tattva. उसके अनुसार कर्म करो. And another point what he talked about is, sometimes even if you are not interested in doing certain duties, you are forced to carry out those duties because of your swabhav tattva. It forces you to carry on with your duties even at times you are not willing to do that. So this is the theory of two philosophies. You have to perform your duties, that is, performing your deeds, and leave the results on your destiny. Because there are several other factors which are co-working along with your deeds, and hence the result is not assured as per your desire. Means human nature, which is naturally connected with familial, social or obligatory duties, will force human to decide and take actions accordingly. So once again, the human here, means under these circumstances, tends to believe that destiny is the reason for all actions and the result thereof, which is again a confused vision. Further, Sri Krishna says, "Hey Arjun, even with a strong willpower, if you don't want to perform some deeds like participating in this war, but under the binding of your past karmic imprints stored in your subconscious, moved from the previous body, will force you to do those deeds in this life." It means karma siddhant also has its impact on your deeds. So the results are not alone based on your efficiency and effort, but also the destiny, which is a combination of various factors. Ignorant human thinks that every result or positive result is attributed to his effort and efficiency, means deeds, whereas every negative result to the destiny. He forgets to realize the combination of two philosophy concepts. Bhagavad-gita repeatedly talked about concentration or focus on your present status. That means what you are doing now, and not on the past or future, because you are not aware of them. If you remember, this discourse has begun with the shlok karmanye vadhikarasti, because you have to perform your duties. You can't get away from that obligation. You can't say, I don't perform my duties. As a human, you are bound to perform your duties, which are social, familial or obligatory duties. You have no option. So, while performing your duties, what Bhagavad Gita said was, concentrate on present status, what you are doing. Don't think about what is there in store for me in future, what was coming from my past. No, because you are not aware of those two things. So what you are aware of is what you are doing today at this particular moment. So concentrate on that and enjoy the result, whatever be the result. Let that result come to you and you accept it. Don't say, this was not what I wanted. Controlled mind allows buddhi to advise the elements in universe to perform with righteousness, to maintain balanced influence of Triguna Tattvas, and also remain less impacted by the results, which are again means these are all influenced by the interactions among 24 elements, as we explained in the past. This would enable the subconscious to store balanced influence of Triguna Tattvas and lay a partially predetermined path for human life. Sri Krishna says in the third shlok that, hey Arjun, your position will always remain under my dominion. You are not on your own. Your body is like a machine made from my material energy. As I am seated in the body as a Jivatma, I am also observing every thought and act of yours, but without my participation in it. Hence, Arjun, I will also judge what kind of body you deserve for your next life. Which means, what a human deserves is also determined by the human's karmic acts in every life. This is why many times people say that if your acts are good in this life, you may get a better path in the next life. Similarly, destiny is also considered as a reason for better life in future. These are my final comments of this entire discourse. These 3 shlokas of chapter 18 clearly indicate that deeds and destiny are the 2 philosophies which coexist at all times. No doubts on that. There is no choice for you beyond that. While giving human the right to choose a particular deed, Supreme Purush, that means the cosmic being, has not given human the right to choose a result. That means the result is dependent on the deed as well as the destiny. Whereas every deed of the human is accounted for. How it is accounted for? The karmic imprints of the past life in the form of subconscious mind are reflected in the deeds of next life. But results arise based on the deeds performed and also the influence of interactions among 24 elements. It's not just your act. The result is coming out of various factors because the influence of interaction between 24 elements is a full-fledged activity which would impact your result. Though your deeds are very perfect, the result may not be as per your estimation or your expectation. So deed, at this stage of discourse, you can understand what is deed. Deed is a combination of your karmic imprints from your past life and also obligatory duties of your present life. And similarly, destiny, which is the influence of interactions within 24 elements on deeds of your present life, coexist and collectively decide the path for human life. So now we should understand that human cannot separate the deed and destiny to achieve a particular result as per a particular desire. I try to explain a brief narration given by Sri Krishna to Arjuna in one of the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna was responding to Arjuna on various queries of him about karma siddhant, how one can control mind, etc., etc. So Sri Krishna says, "Hey Arjun, it is the human to decide what he wants. If you are interested in eternal pleasure, if you are interested in knowing what is the eternal energy, then you can concentrate on that and you will get that pleasure. If you get it, that is the ultimate pleasure. There is nothing beyond that. Whereas if you show interest in materialistic pleasure, then it's not only pleasure, you have to accept pain also. Because the materialistic world is influenced by the reflections or interactions of the 24 elements, the Triguna Tattvas, which will enable or force a human to carry out certain activities, which again produce a result which is not under the control of the human. So then the human has to decide which path he wants to go for. Of course, achieving the eternal pleasure is not an easy task, which Bhagavan Sri Krishna has explained many times in Bhagavad Gita. So I end my discourse, that is deed or destiny, which is the path for human life, here. Few words from me before closing this discourse. मैं उन सभी को, यानी परमात्मा के सभी भक्तजनों को हार्दिक धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूं और thank you very much for all the support I got from my friends, and विशेषकर गुरुदेव एवं आचार्य प्रतिभानंद जी को मैं अपना आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जिन्होंने मुझे परिचयात्मक एपिसोड से लेकर आखिरी एपिसोड तक स्पष्टीकरण में सुधार का सुझाव दिया, सलाह दी और इस हद तक मुझे सिखाया भी। इसीलिए मैं उनको एक और बार प्रत्येक रूप से कोटि कोटि प्रणाम करता हूं। Without frank opinions from my few friends, I would not have been able to conclude this task. There is nothing called best in this universe, and hence there exists an opportunity for improvement. We might have heard many times, there is no end to the learning curve. It is always true that only your well-wishers opine and criticize for improvements. And I remain so grateful forever to all my well-wishers. And I always request them to please advise me from time to time to carry out my tasks in the best possible manner within my limited knowledge. Thank you very much once again.